Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day before starting the video. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After a successful Money in the Bank 2025, fans are excited for the upcoming episodes of WWE Raw and SmackDown, which will feature the fallout from last night's show. Both the red and blue brands could be very eventful this week. The creative team will start its build towards Night of Champions this week. The first round of matches for the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments could also be on Monday's Raw. Furthermore, several big surprises could also happen in WWE this week. On that note, here are 4 bold predictions for WWE Raw and SmackDown after Money in the Bank 2025. LA Knight has been one of the biggest names on the SmackDown roster. The Megastar competed in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match last night. While many expected him to win the coveted briefcase, things didn't go his way, as Seth Rollins won the ladder match. This recent loss may not sit well with LA Knight, who could appear on this week's SmackDown to quit WWE. If so, this could be merely a spur-of-the-moment decision, and Knight may return after a short break. Jey Uso will put the World Heavyweight title on the line against Gunther on this week's Raw. Fans should expect this match to be a blockbuster affair. While the ring general won't be so easy to deal with, the Yeet Master will likely prevail over his arch-rival to retain the World Heavyweight title on Raw after Money in the Bank 2025. However, it will be of interest to see if Goldberg returns to make his presence felt during the match, given the EI legend is rumored to make a comeback anytime soon. Lyra Valkyria put the Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line against Becky Lynch at Money in the Bank 2025. However, the talented star lost the title after a grueling contest. Following the match, Lyra raised Becky's arms as per the agreed stipulation before laying waste to her. Given how things unfolded, it seems things are far from over between the duo. The Raw after Money in the Bank 2025 could see Lyra challenge big-time Bex to a rematch at Night of Champions. While many expected Roman Reigns to return at Money in the Bank 2025, he did not appear on the show. However, the OTC could make his potential comeback on this week's Raw. Roman Reigns could return to confront Seth Rollins following his big win at MITB. However, the OTC may not return alone. He may return with a faction of his own to even the odds against Rollins' group. The Tribal Chief could make a comeback with a Rikishi and Jimmy Uso. While Rikishi could be Reigns' new Wiseman, Big Jim could be the new enforcer of the OTC. The landscape of WWE could be on the verge of another major transformation following the fallout of Money in the Bank 2025. With the company already deep into its post-WrestleMania stretch, all eyes now turn to what surprises Raw and SmackDown may have in store. Roman Reigns has been absent from WWE television since his emotional loss at WrestleMania 41, but the silence around the Tribal Chief might finally be broken. There are whispers, subtle signs, and calculated teases indicating that the head of the table is preparing a grand return, one that will change the dynamics of WWE once again. But he might not be coming alone. If the rumors are to be believed, Roman could return with not only a brand new enforcer, but also a brand new Wiseman. Meanwhile, internal frustration continues to build for some top-tier superstars, with at least one megastar reportedly considering walking out on WWE entirely. Let's dive into what could unfold across both brands after the fireworks of Money in the Bank, and how Roman's potential return may shake the power structure once more. Roman Reigns' return has been long anticipated, and fans have been wondering what form it would take. Would he emerge on Raw and demand another title shot? Would he interrupt Cody Rhodes' reign once again? Or would he target someone new? But there's a deeper layer now to consider. Roman may no longer walk alone. There are strong indications that Solo Sikoa's increasingly violent and independent behavior, paired with Paul Heyman's rumored exile, has forced Roman to restructure his inner circle. That restructuring could start with a stunning move, replacing Paul Heyman as Wiseman. Heyman has remained eerily silent since being destroyed by Sikoa and his newly dubbed Bloodline faction. Rumors backstage suggest that Reigns didn't approve of Solo taking control in his absence, and the betrayal of Heyman may be the final straw. Enter a new wise man, perhaps someone unexpected, possibly even from Roman's past in NXT, or a name from another promotion who aligns with his long-term vision. Whoever it is, this new Wiseman would act not only as a strategic mind, but also a public mouthpiece for a vengeful Roman who seeks to reclaim his position not only in WWE, but within his fractured family. Alongside this strategic addition comes the physical one, a new enforcer. With Jacob Fatu firmly aligned with Solo, and Tama Tonga proving to be a wild card, Reigns might counter their threat with his own weapon. Fans have floated names like Braun Breaker or even Veer Mahan as dark horses for this role. But more likely, Reigns may shock the world by bringing in someone completely unexpected, perhaps a recently debuted powerhouse from NXT, or a returning star with a chip on their shoulder and no allegiance to anyone but the tribal chief. This new enforcer wouldn't be tasked with loyalty to the Samoan bloodline, but to Roman's vision of dominance. It would be less about family and more about empire, strength, and fear. Roman's new Bloodline 2.0 could emerge as a leaner, more dangerous unit, designed specifically to reclaim power, dismantle Solo's faction, and re-establish the pecking order in WWE. This version of Roman would be colder, more focused, and no longer concerned with heritage, only victory. As the tribal war escalates, there's rising speculation that a major megastar could be reaching their breaking point with WWE. Sources inside the locker room suggest that Seth Rollins, who has been battling through injuries and creative dissatisfaction, might be contemplating stepping away from the company. Rollins has long been one of WWE's most reliable performers, but the grind, the constant shifting storylines, and the shadow of part-timers returning to steal the spotlight may have finally taken their toll. The fact that Rollins was absent from the Money in the Bank match card has raised eyebrows. While some believe it's due to lingering knee issues, others believe that Rollins is simply not content with where WWE sees him right now. And, with AEW continuing to build momentum and Japan calling with enticing offers, Seth could be at a crossroads. The Monday Night Messiah reinvented himself time and time again, but with Cody Rhodes firmly at the top, CM Punk hovering in the title picture, and newer stars like Ilya Dragunov, Braun Breaker, and Trick Williams taking center stage, Rollins may be realizing that his run at the summit might be done for now. If he does leave, even temporarily, it would be a seismic loss for WWE, and a massive gain for whichever promotion lands him next. Elsewhere, the women's division looks poised for a shakeup of its own. Jade Cargill's dominant run may have taken a slight stumble at Money in the Bank, but her presence remains massive. However, it's another superstar, Bayley, who might be about to flip the division on its head. Bayley retained her title in London, but the way the match ended, controversially, with help from a returning Dakota Kai, has sparked a potential rift in Damage Control. On SmackDown, Bayley could face an unexpected challenge: betrayal from within. With Io Sky still seething from her WrestleMania loss, and Asuka perhaps feeling like she's been sidelined, Bayley may find herself outnumbered once again. A possible 3-on-1 ambush could mark the dissolution of Damage Control and thrust the WWE Women's Champion into a new role, solo babyface against an alliance of former allies. That storyline could serve as the perfect setup for a SummerSlam match pitting Bayley against Io Sky one last time, with the winner truly claiming the soul of the former faction. Meanwhile, the Raw brand could face its own internal storm. With Gunther recently losing the Intercontinental Championship, he seems to be on a warpath to reassert dominance, and there are murmurs that he's gunning for the World Heavyweight Championship. That would put him squarely on a collision course with Damian Priest or whoever walks out with the gold after Money in the Bank fallout. But beyond titles, there's a graver concern. Gunther may no longer see Imperium as a necessity. On Raw, fans may begin to see small signs of friction between Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci as Gunther demands more from his lieutenants. A full-on implosion isn't far off. If Gunther turns on Imperium, it could open the door for Kaiser to have a long-awaited breakout moment, while Vinci fades into the background or seeks redemption elsewhere. Gunther's solo quest for absolute dominance, perhaps ending with a shocking betrayal of his brothers in arms, would be one of the 4 most compelling arcs Raw could offer this summer. In the tag division, there's a sense that something massive is brewing. The Street Profits have been slowly, almost silently, repositioning themselves as contenders again, but this time with a mean streak. With Bobby Lashley still backing them as part of the Hurt Syndicate, the group might fully pull the trigger on turning heel. This could mean brutal attacks, more ruthless promos, and a mission to destroy beloved teams like DIY or The New Day. And what better way to announce that shift than with an all-out assault on the newly crowned tag team champions? On Raw? The Hurt Syndicate reclaiming gold would be a massive statement for the faction, and might even draw the attention of MJF, who recently joined WWE and was rumored to be in talks with Lashley about a possible alliance. If MJF and Lashley truly align, it could be the most dangerous faction WWE has seen in years. The Profits would provide the muscle and chaos, while MJF provides the venomous mic work and cunning. Raw would become a minefield for anyone opposing them. And finally, there's the wild card element, LA Knight. Despite losing at Money in the Bank, Knight still remains one of the most organically over talents on the roster. Fans are clamoring for WWE to finally pull the trigger and give him a meaningful storyline heading into SummerSlam. That could come in the form of a heel turn. Knight, fed up with being passed over despite his popularity, may finally snap. The teasing of a darker, more serious version of LA Knight began weeks ago, and Money in the Bank may have pushed him over the edge. If he shows up on SmackDown this week and lays out a fan favorite, perhaps Kevin Owens or even Sami Zayn, Knight could instantly reposition himself as a top villain. But unlike traditional heels, Knight wouldn't be booed. He'd be cheered louder, and that dynamic would force WWE into a difficult spot. Do they allow him to remain a fan favorite while acting heelish, or do they go all the way and fully turn him into a manipulative mastermind who doesn't care what the fans think? Either way, LA Knight's evolution could be one of the most talked about post-MITB developments. The next few episodes of Raw and SmackDown have the potential to set the tone for the rest of 2025. Whether it's the return of Roman Reigns with a reloaded arsenal, the possible departure of Seth Rollins, or faction implosions that lead to long-awaited showdowns, WWE's post-MITB programming could be some of its most compelling of the year. Roman's return, in particular, holds the most weight, not just in storyline terms, but in the way it may signal WWE entering yet another era of bloodline drama, only this time without the family bonds to hold it together. The war for control, power, and respect in WWE is far from over, and Roman Reigns may be ready to remind everyone exactly who still sits at the head of the table, whether they like it or not. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.